Welcome to another podcast of Get Paid for Your Pad. Today I have on the show Mr. Jeff Ilulian. Hope I pronounced it right. Co-founder of Host GPO, which is a group purchasing organization for short-term rental hosts. And today we're going to talk about how you can save up to 75% on furniture for your short-term rentals. It sounds too good to be true, but it is true. Me and Jeff connected a while ago, and as soon as I heard his solution that he's working on, I had to get him on the podcast. But Jeff is also an expert in the vacation rental management industry. He's got 10 years of experience running up to 150 vacation rentals in Southern California. So we're going to pick Jeff's brain as well on some advice for the hosts out there. So Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome, man. So I'm super excited to dive in the Host GPO solution that you're working on. But before we do that, what are some 10 years of experience, 150 units? You're a legend. I mean, like we have the STR Legends mastermind. That's how we initially connected. And you would fit perfectly in that group because you're a legend. You're a short-term rental legend, essentially, right? So give us some advice, give us some tips. Like 2021, what do you think we should focus on as hosts and vacation rental managers?
Yeah, I think focus is really the key word. I think the key for 2021 is being a little more focused and kind of taking aim. What I've seen over the last decade in the space, as I'm sure you remember, 7-8 years ago, it was very hard to miss. You didn't even have to aim. If you were getting a unit and you were throwing some furniture in there and putting it on the site, you were going to do okay. And I think for 2021, there's still a lot of opportunity out there. I mean, I can really speak well to kind of the US and Canada markets, but there's a lot of opportunity out there. You just have to be a little more focused. And I think what that looks like is being smarter about where you're getting units, what kind of units you're setting up, and really all of the things that you talk about on this podcast that, STR Legends talk about, things like pricing and, pricing intelligently and doing, unit integrity, making sure that, your units are done well, making sure your customer services, all those things are basic things. They're basic thresholds that you can't not do anymore. You could get away with it before. There were options. There were ways to optimize. But I think for 2021, they're really starting to become the base for threshold for kind of getting in the space. So I think focus, taking aim, making sure you're doing kind of smart units, making sure you're, taking advantage of things like Host GPO. If you can, those are really the types of strategic thinking that are essential for being in the space now. Whereas before, I think you could get away with it without.
Yeah, 100% agree. It gets more professional. And you see that when you look at data of like how many property managers are using technology and stuff like that, you can clearly see that over the years the industry has been getting more professional. And before we get into Host GPO, what are your thoughts around markets? Because we've seen a big divide between the urban markets and the drive-to destinations. Drive-to destinations are doing really, really well. Urban markets are really struggling. Do you see that trend continuing, or do you think that's a temporary thing caused by COVID?
Well, I think it's definitely a temporary thing caused by COVID, the increase. Now, whether or not it's going to stick, I think depends on a lot of things. A lot of the research that I've read on it and kind of my own experience and what I've seen says that trend will continue for at least another 3-4 years, just because people in those drive-to destinations, you're building the units, right? There's this kind of field of dreams, situation where if you build it, they will come, and that's happening, right? You're taking these secondary markets, you're taking the Broken Bow, Oklahomas, and the Poconos, and these types of at least in the States, these drive-to destinations, and you're making them vacation destinations. So I think that they will stay that way. The initial marketing hurdle of getting people to know that they exist, that's going to be out of the way. The hurdle of having to overcome the initial capital outlay to get the units up and running, that's gone now, right? So all of these things have been built, and I think they will continue to keep going for a while. So regardless of whether or not travel opens up on an international level or not, I think that you're going to have these locations that exist that didn't exist before, in really beautiful ways. I mean, I've seen some great units in a lot of these places, and I think even international travel, even when people go to certain cities, I think that they'll be able to have these options more readily available. So I see it continuing. I think that the overall trend of travel will continue. I think the overall trend of Airbnb and short-term rentals will trend upwards, but I don't see that much of a pullback in those kind of drive-to markets.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for that perspective. Now let's dive into Host GPO. Save
Yeah.
up to 75% on your furniture for your short-term rentals. I mean, that sounds crazy to me. That sounds impossible. I'm sure there must be a catch or something. But I'll let you explain. How does that happen?
So yeah, I mean, I think it sounds crazy to me that people are out there doing this professionally and paying retail pricing for their stuff. That's what really sounds crazy. So Host GPO is a group purchasing organization. So GPOs aren't a new concept. They exist. They've been around for a long time in certain industries. This is the first one for the vacation rental industry. And the concept is we've pooled together all of these professional hosts, like myself and a bunch of other people together. And we've negotiated discounts at the types of stores for whether it's furniture or whether it's furniture, mattresses, linens, whatever it is. We've negotiated these types of discounts so that nobody's out there paying full price anymore, so that you don't have to spend the time finding a deal, clipping coupons, waiting for Black Friday sales, all of those types of things. That time and effort and energy, we've taken that out of the equation, and really by collectively pulling together and buying more as a group, we were able to negotiate these types of discounts for everybody.
That's awesome, man. And how much does it cost to join that service?
So currently we're doing 1 year free for your first membership. So for new members, which likely will, for anybody that's listening in the US and Canada, that's where we're operating right now. I would sign up sooner rather than later. That window is probably going to get shorter and shorter as we continue to grow. The idea is to kind of create a big enough group that we are able to get all of the deals and all the offerings that we want under the umbrella of Host GPO. And then we'll start charging a membership fee. And, like anything else, it'll depend on how many units you have and things like that. So, to join Host GPO, you have to have 3 or more units to begin with. But our members on average, a lot of 15, 20, 25 is kind of the average. And we also have members that have 300, 500, 700 units. So everybody benefits from buying as a group. And that's kind of what we're trying to do.
Right. So you're saying you have to have at least 3 units. Are there any other conditions in order to join the group?
No, you have to have 3 units. There are some exceptions that we make. For example, we work with a lot of interior designers who, want access to better than the trade discounts that they're getting otherwise just for being interior designers, just from being a part of our group. We work with people who are building new vacation rental units. So there are a couple other ways to be involved. Also, certain members of trade groups or associations are eligible to join with less than 3 units. So if you're a member of a local regional association and they've joined Host GPO as a group, we're also able to allow members in that way. But really, this is geared toward professional vacation rental hosts, people that are doing this in a more meaningful way than kind of just renting out that extra bedroom, which is great. But this really provides the most benefit to people that are setting up new units or are operating at kind of a medium to larger level.
Sweet. And what kind of brands do you work with?
Yeah, so you can go to the hostgpo.com website. We actually list most of the brands that we partner with on there, but our main furniture partner is our Williams-Sonoma's brands. So West Elm, Pottery Barn, Rejuvenation, Williams-Sonoma. Those are kind of the key furniture partners that we work with. For mattresses, we work with Helix. For linens, we work with both Brooklinen and also Standard Textiles. So we kind of cover the luxury linen market, but also the kind of value to mid-level market. For amenities, we work with a company called World Ammenities, which is incredible pricing on things like travel size bottles of amenities. We also work with Public Goods. That's a new partner. They do great luxury and sustainable amenities and kind of kitchen pantry products. So we have a pretty wide range of vendors that a lot of people are already ordering from. This is just a simplified way to get better deals on that.
Is there some sort of a minimum amount for purchases?
Yeah, so that's something we work really hard to try to make sure that it is as low as possible. So for most of our vendors, there's no minimum amount. And the concept behind that is this is geared towards vacation rental hosts. So you might have 15, 20 units, but you're setting up a new unit or you're replacing one item somewhere. And so you really need to have the ability to order one couch or three new rugs or five mattresses or whatever it is without having to order 50 or 100 and be able to qualify for those types of deals. So we try our hardest to make sure that the minimums are as low as possible. Obviously, by the nature of some of our partnerships, like our partnership with Home Depot or with Gibson USA, which sells plates and flatware, stuff like that. Those partnerships are geared towards larger orders. I mean, the case of toilet paper that you're ordering or paper towels is going to be 30 or 90 or 100 units, just by the nature of how big the packages are. But we try to keep the minimum orders as low as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's not just furniture. It's anything that you would have to buy in the home. It's kitchen stuff, it's bathroom stuff, amenities,
Yeah,
everything.
exactly. The idea is to, and we're still bringing on new partners, as we speak. But the idea is that it's a one-stop shop for people to go to, and you're furnishing a new unit. You can kind of do it all without having to hunt around and find, negotiate. I mean, look, I was doing it. I was doing it for a long time. It's kind of how I came up with Host GPO, right? I was setting up 10 units here, 5 units there, 3 units there. And I was going to the local mattress store and trying to negotiate a deal to buy 10 mattresses at a time. And, to do that so many times, you only get so far. And this is really a way where you can join a group that has over 50,000 units between all of our members right now. And you're buying at that rate. If you have 3 units, you're walking into the store with the purchasing power of 50,000 units behind you. That's really what we're trying to create.
And talking about the discounts, right? Where you told me up to 75%. Now imagine not every single product is going to be 75%, right? So what's kind of like a realistic kind of like what's the range there in terms of the discounts?
Yeah, I mean, it's a range, right? It depends on what the products are, and obviously, I would love to be able to publicly advertise what our discounts are. Unfortunately, part of our deals require us to have confidentiality about what the deals are. So once members sign up, they're able to access the deals and learn exactly what they are. An average member saves around 50% on their unit setup. So if you're setting up a new unit, you're usually buying from vendors that are ranging from like 30, 35% up to 70, 75% off. So it comes out to 45, 50% on average save per new unit setup is a good way to think about it.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot. And are there any other like disadvantages or any other issues or whatsoever? Because it just sounds so good, almost too good to be true. Where it's like, hey, I can save like 50% on anything I buy for my vacation rental.
Yeah, I mean, look, the truth is that there are. I mean, I can't think of any serious disadvantages. I mean, you can't. There's no commitment, right? Once you join Host GPO, if you find a piece, some furniture somewhere else, or you're happy buying stuff on Facebook Marketplace, maybe that's what you're doing. Maybe you're buying used furniture, and I'm totally behind that. I think that's great. And if people want to do that and they can save money doing that, I think I support that 100%. But you get to a point, 3 units, 5 units in, where you realize that running around and trying to find furniture is, it's a time consuming and difficult process. And you're never really sure what you're going to get. And so, there's no commitment to buy through our group once you join, but it really is the best available thing out there. And, if I talked to a member recently who wasn't buying from Helix as their mattress company. And I couldn't figure, I was talking to them about why. And she said that she runs a couple farm locations out in the countryside, and she told me that one of her neighbors actually hand makes her mattresses for her, and gives it to her for pretty much free. And that's awesome. If you find handmade free mattresses for yourself, like, yeah, maybe this isn't for you, but other than that, there really isn't a lot of downside. I really believe that we're trying to, as we keep growing to and bringing in more vendors, we're really trying to make it so we appeal to all different types of units, from high end all the way down to kind of value units.
And how does it work? Do you order through the Host GPO website or do you get like a coupon code or something?
Yeah, so each vendor is a little bit different, and that's what when you sign up on the Host GPO website, you schedule an onboarding call, which is where we go over for 5 to 10 minutes with you exactly how ordering works, exactly how our website works, and we help look at your units and look at your listings and kind of talk to you about what we think might make sense for you in terms of which vendors to order from. And when you log into the member portal, essentially it's a list of all the vendors, and each one that you click on describes how to place an order. So for example, for some of the vendors, it might be as easy as requesting a coupon code and entering that into their website when you're checking out. For a couple of the other vendors, it requires filling out, purchase orders, and, we help facilitate those orders for you.
So you get on the phone with every single person that joins?
Not me, but somebody from our team gets on the phone with everybody that joins. We think it's really important to kind of get to know people and really understand people's businesses and create a community. It's a huge part of what we're doing.
I hope you have some new team members ready, because I think a lot of people are going to jump on this opportunity.
I mean, we've been this year, especially towards the end of last year and the beginning of this year, it has been a nonstop signups, and we're really excited about it. I mean, the way the group is growing, it really kind of is fulfilling its own, goal. I mean, the bigger the group gets, the better the deals are getting, and it's not just discounts. It's things like customer service. It's things like access to products that you're not going to get otherwise. It's access to hospitality optimized products, right? When you're ordering linens and your alternative is ordering off of Amazon or finding out a local brand that's meant to be a retail brand, you're buying a not hospitality optimized product. You're buying something that's meant to be used for your home. It's meant to be washed, however often you wash linens. It's not really meant for 2-day turnovers for years and years. So we partnered with companies that really provide quality products like Standard Textile, where you're buying products that are manufactured for this type of use. And they have all these additional benefits like coming pre-laundered and having easy ID tags for making beds, and they're reversible so that there's no top and bottom to the sheet. So it really optimizes in a lot of different ways things that are meant for hospitality. And that's kind of an additional benefit of being a member. You're able to access these products.
Is this US only, or is this international?
So we're in the US and Canada right now, and hopefully in the next 6 months or so, I think we'll be announcing our expansion. So keep an eye out for it. We're already well into the works in a couple other places, and we're hoping to be able to kind of announce those soon.
Sweet, man. That's awesome. Well, I know that Eric, who's my business partner with STR Legends, he's ordered some furniture for his new home in San Diego, and he was really happy. He was raving about the service. So yeah, I almost can't believe it.
It's the kind of thing where I really built this for my own business, right? Like on my own units, I love the fact that I'm saving. And the bigger the group gets, the bigger I'm saving when I buy stuff and set up new units myself. So that part of it's great. And, the idea is that you kind of have to, I think that's just the model nowadays for any tech company, right? You have to give it away for a while just to grow it. And as the group gets bigger, depending on how big it is, we'll start charging membership fees and things like that, and really be able to expand in a more meaningful way.
Awesome, man. Anything else that people should know about Host GPO?
I think that's it. If you have 3 or more units, or you're a designer, or you're, in the space and setting up new units specifically, it's a really good fit. And at the end of the day, it's going to take 10 minutes of your time, 1 minute to do the sign up online, and, a 10-minute phone call, where we can really talk about it and see if it's a good fit. And we're excited about growing the group, and really growing the community. So, I think that's it. I'm excited to kind of meet everybody that signs up from this, and the more the merrier.
So where do people go? Hostgpo.com.
Hostgpo.com. You click join us now. The form to fill out is pretty basic. It just asks for your information, a link to maybe either your company website or to one of your listings, and then the last step of the sign up is scheduling an onboarding call, and there's a link to a calendar to do that. Somebody from our team will do that call with you, depending on what time you do it. And if you ever have questions, there's also a live chat on the website as well. There's a big FAQ section for kind of the most commonly asked questions. So be sure to check that out as well. And that's kind of how the sign up works.
And one last question on
Sure.
on the purchasing. Are the conditions of purchasing the same as if you were to pay the full price on the company website?
That's a really good question. So it depends. Most of the time, yes, especially in terms of things like warranties, right? So the mattress warranty for what you're buying might be 10 or 15 years, depending on what you're buying on Host GPO, and you're going to get that same warranty for the product. One thing that we work on with our vendors is saying things like, look, these are professionals, right? Everybody in the space is a professional. They kind of know what they're buying. It's not like somebody buying for their house that maybe they're not sure if this mattress is going to work or not, right? So that's why all these online mattress companies will give you a 100-day free trial. So we take that out of the equation. We're saying, hey, look, our members, they know what they want. They're going to order this mattress. They're going to like it. So we might waive a return policy with certain vendors. All of that stuff is detailed on the member portal for each vendor, so you'll be able to see what that is. But that is one of the ways that we're able to kind of negotiate these deals, right? We take away some of the return policies or some of the different payment terms or whatever it is, just to make sure that you are getting the best deal on the actual furniture itself.
Got it. Awesome, man. And I guess group purchasing buying, like you said, it's not a new concept. It just didn't exist in the short-term rental space. I imagine big hotel companies probably have these type of deals too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And what's really crazy is that the deals themselves are different. So for example, you can join a hotel GPO, but you might be paying 25, 30 grand a year just for your membership. And after that, you're talking about having order minimums where you need to be ordering 50 beds or 100 beds or things like that. So those are the types of things we've moved away from. But what's amazing is that the deals that we're getting are as good. They're like at least as good. They must be, because at 50,000 units between all of our members, we're one of the biggest hotel purchasing groups that there is. So a lot of the products, like I said, are optimized for this space. GPOs exist for hotels. They don't really make sense here. That's kind of why we're doing this. And they exist in other industries too. The pharmaceutical industry has a ton of GPOs. Those types of things have been around for a long time. This is just kind of, as the industry progresses, these types of business solutions are possible. And whether that's property management software, whether that's pricing software, whether that's whatever it is, this is just another solution. This is a procurement solution for people that are trying to solve ordering or trying to save time. A lot of our members who have 50, 100 units, 150 units, 200 plus, they have full-time people doing procurement. And that person's job is to go out and source and find the best deals for whatever their units are. And Host GPO really makes their job easier and helps, streamline the whole process. And it really helps put people from step one of what should I buy to, well, these are the options for what you want to buy, and it's already negotiated and it's ready to go and it's in a package for you. So that's what we're trying to do, while allowing people to still have that individuality to set up their units the way they want, to order whatever the SKUs are that you want, right? It's not like you join Host GPO, you can only buy one couch from West Elm. This is the couch that we have, right? It's, you can buy anything from West Elm at our discount. And we believe that West Elm specifically is a great kind of middle level gold standard for vacation rentals, right? You can put in IKEA furniture here and there. You can, maybe order from Wayfair if you want to play roulette. Like, there's all these different options that are out there, but ultimately West Elm with our discount is really the gold standard for kind of setting up a new unit. It's what people expect. It's when people look at a listing, it's what they want to stay in. So that's kind of, the difference about this GPO versus other GPOs.
Sweet, man. Well, thanks so much for coming on. It sounds incredible. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be jumping on this opportunity to get those discounts. So again, there's no catch, no hidden fees. It's all free for now. So join while you can. Hostgpo.com. That's where you can find the membership site. That's where you can sign up. You get on a call with one of your team members, and then that's it. You can start saving money.
That's it.
Sweet, man. Well, before I let you go, let me try to get one more piece of advice from you on the vacation rental side.
Of course.
So what is one thing that you wish you had known before you started your vacation rental management business?
Ooh, one thing I wish I would have known before I started my vacation rental business. So I'll tie it into host GPO specifically, if you don't mind. So one thing I really wish I would have known is I think that I went too conservative when I was setting up my first couple units. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I really didn't set them up with a long-term goal in mind. I was kind of dipping my toe in the water for a while. And I think what I learned was that if you set up a better unit, your return is going to be exponentially increased, because at the end of the day, I didn't really realize that this business isn't just about hospitality. It is customer service, super important. Pricing, super important. But at the end of the day, we're selling photography. That's first and foremost. The getting the ball over the net is having a great picture and having somebody click on it. And I don't think I really understood that. I think I went a little bit too basic, a little bit too value in a lot of my initial purchases and unit setups. And whether it was the furniture deteriorating and breaking down, or not being able to withstand that type of, kind of commercial grade use, or people just not clicking on it because it just didn't look great. I think that, like I said, you kind of have to focus a little bit more now than you did before. You could make units like that work, but there's so much competition in the space. There's a lot of money out there too. There's a lot of opportunity, but I guess the threshold to get into the space is really having a nicer unit. So I think my biggest mistake was not having nice enough units early enough. I think I missed out on a lot by doing that.
Awesome, man. That's great advice. Well, thanks again, Jeff. Thanks for joining the show. I'm sure we'll be talking more in the near future. Good luck with host GPO. And to the listeners, thank you for listening or watching if you're watching on YouTube, and see you next week.